love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Aftermath, when I hate, I attack.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up.
Hello there, and indeed, good evening there. Hi, Andrew. Hello, Leo. Hello, Bad Wars Gang. Sky. Bob. Hello, Bob. Bobeb. Mikey, of course. Hello, hello. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. Now, boys and girls, let's get this show on the road. There's sadly not much to talk about, but still, for the sake of consistency, and all of you have to be tremendously, including myself, grateful for our admin here, Bad Wars Gang, who insisted I need to, for the sake of consistency and for so everybody will be up to speed. Although honestly, I'm not going to lie, I myself was thinking whether I should be going live and talking about it because it really felt redundant today with a lack of market price action. Everybody's talking about death crosses and all sorts of fun things, but we know most of this is real side effects of the actual price action, and so most of it is kind of meaningless at the end of the day. And we want to focus on what the momentum is really telling us within the context of the framework of the channels we're working within right now. As most of you already noticed, for example, in the 1 minute chart towards basically towards the end of the day, we ended up doing just kind of nothing, landing on top of this channel, moving sideways within the framework of a downward trend. So a bit of a relief rally, if you will, a bit of R&R for the price action, if you will. But all in all, the price action was pretty boring. If we think about it from a standpoint of zooming out just a little bit, we're going to realize that we haven't done a lot. We mainly moved sideways, actually with a very narrow band as well. As some of my members, one of my members today, Tech Invest wrote, you better have spent, it's worse than watching paint dry, you better have spent this day on the beach doing something of this sort that's, of course, more valuable. And I'm 100% in agreement with Tech Invest, because the reality is that we basically ran out of bullish momentum, and now we're just kind of slowly sliding to the side, for the lack of a better term, because we are not yet at the end of the sort of the moment where the bears normally would take over, and ironically already ran out of bullish momentum, which is something I was talking about, that we're not going to have that 56 area, and so the bears are not yet taking over, but the bulls are already giving up. So it's pretty crazy what's going on, but was predicted to some extent. If we're gonna again, we usually skip the 1 minute, it's just kind of redundant, meaningless, because everything's gonna find there. Just again, not enough of any consistency for us to actually pay attention to, right? So we can actually skip over the 5 minutes as well. It's not going to give us any indication for prolonged price action. With this sort of structure, we can see we're probably going to slide potentially back to that 54.14 that we've tested. It really feels like the market is getting ready for an error, because I swear that I've seen this 5404 so many times. I think like the market is getting prepared for a general error. Error 404 error. So I mean, no, not a joke. I've actually noticed this number too many times. No, not like it means much, of course, just kind of, making fun of it. Hello, Blackberry. Hello. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is obviously at face value bearish in oversold territory. Does not seem like we're having any inkling of actual bullish pickup, and if it will be anything of actual significance, it maybe will bring us up to 54.23.20, which we know our current actual resistance on a larger framework that we're actually testing. But more so, if you'd ask me, in my experience, it's far more likely that we're going to move into the switch, playing around this simple moving average that's sort of picking us up back into that corner. But again, nothing that substantial. Let's go to the 45 minutes. 45 minutes potentially will give us a little bit something more substantial. As you can already see, I already had this area marked, and we'll kind of giving up the secret. So basically, the actual expectation is for the price action to slowly maybe retest again, but end up deteriorating towards the median of the channel. We're currently residing at around 5200. There he is. There he is. The Gregonator. Hello. Gene, when I used to still play PC games, I had lots of nicknames, one of whom was Ghost, the OG, the original one. Recently, I've been using Hellhound, but there was a period there that I was using something that you'll find extremely hilarious, and it started off of just sort of a Russian joke with I was using actually Chiburashka, right? And no, at first it was Chiburashka ninja, so it was like a Chiburashka ninja, basically like a ninja Chiburashka. Yeah, and then one of my friends turned it into Chiburatar, so it was Chiburatar ninja. So that was Crocodile Gennady. Yeah. You and I can form a squad on PC games, go hunt down people. Gennady and Chiburashka. Chiburatar. So we're gonna... Okay. But no joke, I mean, you really made me think of that for a sec there. Love you much, brother. Good to see you here. So let's go on with what we were doing. Basically, doesn't seem like we have anything too substantial, but even if we're going to have a little bit of a pickup of that bullish momentum within the oversold territory, so it's not going to be all that surprising if what we'll truly end up doing is retesting that 54.23, 5423.20. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. The very same resistance we're looking at, that very yellow line. It is not some form of a golden pocket. I just sort of made it this way so it will stand out. Really, legitimately, I promise. It is just, let's call it that way, okay? So everybody will know what it is. Where it is is going to stand out. And so the overall thesis still stands towards the movement of 5200 once finalizing this. Let's see if we have any confirmation on that side of things. Well, below and behold, we're again bearish at face, super bearish, if you will. Again, we were in oversold territory. We're bullish, basically. So what that means is we're going to have that conflicting kind of mixed behavior, which in reality results in more of a flatline behavior. Not a real flat line, but more so almost like we end up moving within a very narrow range, which most of us will basically almost consider as a flat line. So ironically enough, as we thought today was boring, we might get another day of this sort. But then again, if you look at the analysis prior, we said it might be squeezing out some bullish momentum. So having that flatness is not all that bad. It's kind of expected. Again, retesting the very same levels. We can see we've been on and on and on and on, testing and testing and testing. I do believe we will depart very shortly, given the channel and the direction that we have. You guessed it, we're going down. And in fact, you can already start seeing signs. Pardon me. On the 4 hours, we're having convergence, and once the forces will cross over and will split apart again, we will have the D dominant, basically the bearish momentum, and starting to pull us downwards. Will that be directly to the downside? We don't know, or whether it will be some form of retest, we will see. For the time being, the only one thing that is certain for us is that we are moving towards a crossover, which in general is a little bit more bearish, given that we're still in bullish territory. We don't know how long it will be, unless we have confirmation in larger time frames that we're closer to a breakdown. Now, daily is a little bit sketchy, and we had a little bit of an issue with the daily, and daily actually didn't move much. As you can see, it's pretty much that 4 hours shows you a very similar sort of structure. It's just that the daily, it's very much behind. But given the 4-hourly structure, I can tell you that the daily is not far off. The 4-hourly represents the daily, just that throughout the 4-hourly we have, again, if we're looking at sort of pre-market, post-market behavior, that's exactly the right place to do that normally, again, unless we're looking at S&P actually. But so what the 4-hourly does, it separates into pre-market, actual session, post-market. It combines into a single candlestick on the daily. So the daily is in a way a lot more conclusive, but the 4 hours, is very helpful when it comes to identifying, or rather looking a little bit deeper into the hour session and trying to identify in advance what it is that's about to happen. Hello, Aqua Frost. Good to see you, madam. Hope you're feeling well. Hello, everyone. Indeed, hello to you, dear. And so it's pretty much implying the very same idea that we saw in the 4 hours. It's a little bit lagging behind. So the assumption is that sooner or later, probably sooner, we're talking about within the next session or two at most, it does start to appear a little bit more and more as we progress through this week, as if this entire week is going to be killed off and spent on almost moving sideways, if you will, so like a restabilizing, which is not great. Again, it's a great loss of time, but then again, it makes sense with Trump slowing tariffs down, at least temporarily, putting a bit of a slowdown on that thing. Again, it doesn't mean it's all off. In fact, as you can imagine, Trump is not the sort of person to pedal back. And it's just that I think he understands, because of market conditions overall, and he is a very smart, intelligent human being, especially when it comes to markets and financial economic conditions. And so he understood that for the current conditions not to deteriorate any faster, he should probably put a bit of a cool down on the tariffs, which will be beneficial for the overall market, the overall economic state. And so he's done right. Honestly, that was a good choice, at least temporarily. So I know though it is unpleasant for some of us SQQQ holders. Don't forget, be able to focus on. Don't forget to focus on the important thing. For me, what I was focusing on is buying more SQQQs. So I'm currently holding 1,240 of them. I'll try to accumulate as much as possible. Of course, we'll see. Maybe I'll rebalance those 40. We'll see. We'll see what I do. We'll see what I'll do. Since I don't have any issue with any wash rules or anything, so yeah, we'll see. We'll figure out how I'm gonna go about this. But still, regardless of, I'm probably gonna. Obviously not gonna change anything, and might just continue and filling up on these. We'll see how I'll go about it. There is a high likelihood I'm just gonna buy another 160 and solve the problem. I might just do that. Plug got unplugged today. No, plug got really low, right? It's as you can see, it's definitely not the sort of price action I was expecting. I was expecting for it to not deteriorate below $1 in about the 30 cents range, if we call it 28, kinda. that vicinity. In fact, we had a horrible deterioration, if you want to call it as such. But really, the downside is $1, and as I've said, and I warned in the first place, this is going to be a very bumpy ride. It's going to take a while, and in long run, what I can lose is the amount that I've already spent on, which, as I said, is sort of extra cash. The best case scenario is if my money will multiply 10 times. And so, yes, of course, as I warned, this might take some time. No, not worried, not caring. And the only problem with this is actually that I'm thinking about buying more when my target was 2,000 shares, which I'm already holding. And given the price, I'm very tempted to buy more. You need to understand, it's what I'm looking at here from the technical standpoint. It's an inevitable trade. Of course, I don't mind spending some time, and that's why I'm throwing at it mostly extra cash. It's not at the detriment of my portfolio, just to be clear. And as I said, that's why I don't give here financial advice. And if you like it, you like it. It's up to you. As I don't carry any responsibility for your profits, I don't carry any responsibility for your losses. And so if you decide to participate and cannot see the whole show through, that's up to you, sir, so to speak. Now, continuing with the S&P. Look, the weekly is the only one that is kind of giving us a little bit of jitters, but we spoke about this several times before. All it is, it's again bullish in oversold territory, picking back up to the 20 area, which we've seen before many times. And I'll remind you all, as long as we stay within the below the 50 range, we still are bearish. In fact, this is just a normal behavior of the market, sort of opening up room, a breather, post a drop, a significant drop, to allow to have that space to drop even further. So basically a correction in order to have a lower drop. Some of you already know and noticed we've tested some of the ranges I've mentioned months ago. That 4,800, we picked back up, and now we already started. Well, of course, this weekly candlestick is a little bit more reddish, but nothing significant so far. But if we look just around the corner over the monthly, which is basically the most significant time frame that we should be paying attention to, we are now deep significantly underneath the 50 range, which means we're full on bearish, moving rapidly and with clear divergence towards the oversold territory. All of you understand what will happen then. And it appears to be that once, of course, don't forget, when we do arrive, we then spend quite a decent amount of time, multiple years, in fact. You can see the whole process can take sometimes up to 428 candlesticks in this instance, not including weekends. Of course, you have shorter periods, you have quicker periods, but all in all, they end up taking quite a prolonged period of sort of process. In this instance, we have something more steeper, and also kind of depends where we are in the cycle, because these processes play out very differently in different places in the cycle. For example, but basically you still need to consider the give or take average. For example, this instance, if we look at this, so the give or take average, it took 730 days, not including weekends. Basically, this sort of thing can take multiple years, right? So up to 3 years, if you will, on average. Of course, there were longer periods, but again, we're looking for the average, not what is extreme, right? We don't want to sort of point out, oh, it can be that bad. Yeah, it can be even worse. It can be an entire decade that we're going to be, it can be an entire lost decade, if you will, of sorts, even if it's not going to be an exact decade, but it can end up being, actually 5 more years will clean up the whole thing, but still, it can be anywhere between 8 to 12 years, basically. And the range is quite wide. Objectively, we are downwards oriented, and it seems that we're going to go downwards within the following multiple handful of months at least, before we have any sort of correction or retest of various levels, which we will hit probably, I'm assuming, as far as we're looking at right now, is going to be probably closer to that 4,000 range, or call it 3930 range, 0.13 to be super precise. It doesn't have to be as precise. It also can rely on, there's another very significant strong resistance that was basically playing along the resistance back in that around September, June, July, all that period, November, December, January, the beginning of 2023. So basically the whole period of end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. And so this very ceiling may be retested as a form of a support, maybe even some form of slippage to these very already known levels, with some retest back to 4,818, which now is currently our active floor at this junction. So now we're currently actually looking actively at the very next step, potentially speaking, based upon this price action. Of course, as you know, I tend to exaggerate and sort of stretch it out things to the right side so you can see things clearer, because you're just going to cram it up all together and it's going to look a bunch of columns, but you get the idea. It's this progression and far tighter scale within this range, kind of continuing downwards with some potential retest, up, down, and I mean, maybe potentially at half of the size that I ended up drawing this thing. So basically within a handful of months, we'll end up retesting back from that 39.30 back to 4,800, and it's a movement of $1,000. Basically, you kind of understand the theme that's going on here. Every step of the way is roughly within the vicinity of $1,000 and then some. We have had a nice drop after hours. Have we? How significant? Anything? I mean, would you say? Oh, you want to actual cues? Ask cues. I mean, no, we didn't. If anything, so you're talking about the cues, not the SQs. You're confusing me, sir. You really are confusing me. So I mean, no. Based upon this, we had it on the Qs, so or correction on the S triple Qs. Yeah, that's normal. I mean, that look, we don't. Leo. I don't have to tell you of all people. By the way, those who don't know, Leo was one of our admins, and both on the Discord and the Patreon. Everyone's here highly invited to join our Patreon, the Discord. Leo here is a student of mine as well. He's gone through the academy, understands things far more in depth than he leads to believe very often, and he tends to pretend that he's, just kind of not an expert, I guess, although he is very knowledgeable, and yes, he is pointing out very important things. But then again, Leo himself also knows how these sort of things tend to get corrected before market open. But this is indicative. It does show that the market is pulling to the upside more than it's keeping flat right now. So yeah, which means, of course, yeah, I'm going up. Correct, boys. You see, these are my commandos, the legends that know every little tidbit about how we roll, what we do, what the community is all about. I'm the same, was loading up, and now is tempted to go further. We play the long game. Absolutely, Danny. Yeah. No bullshit. No, I mean, look, it's not that it's not a Palantir or a Tesla, I understand, but it's simply a good technical trade that may take some time, and why not? And that's why I'm not throwing, going all in and throwing stupendous amounts of money. These 2,000 shares are really a tiny little amount of my spending money, if you will, and I'm not that pressed, as you can imagine. So why not? And I do have this tendency to, sort of practice what you preach kind of thing. And I mean, I don't mind dipping a little bit deeper with my portfolio, but my plan was the 2000, so I'm probably not going to get too far, and if I will, it will be something that I'm planning to sell as we're going to be rallying to the upside. So I'll recalculate and we'll see how much more money I can throw on that, but I think it's not going to be too much. I'm probably going to buy a couple, maybe 300 of them, maybe 400. We'll see, just kind of get ready as we go. But yeah, that's not something I'm in a rush in, and yeah, that price is just so tempting. I really do get you, Danny. I'm not gonna, because I do, at the end of the day, it's practice what you preach kind of thing, right? And I don't get itchy fingers, because that's a bad idea. Don't get too sort of jittery. But yeah, and absolutely don't miss out on good opportunities when they're presented, So yeah, I'm with you, absolutely. I mean, I see that in a similar fashion. Now, You see, Mickey, Danny, I really like that we see eye to eye on this, because at the end of the day, people misunderstand and really think that every single trade or is some form of an investment. But no, some things just potentially a good play. They don't cost too much, so why not? It's one of those. It's like I don't know, like shrimp money kind of trade. I hate to use that terminology, but you get it. Here we go. Yeah, the mess is starting. Is it really? That's not good. I mean, I don't know if I really want that sort of behavior in before the market opens up tomorrow, and just gonna be very messy instead of are we that that's why is that severe behavior? No, but it's gonna correct back up. I mean, yeah. So that's once this drops back, once this brings back up, this will of course correct a little bit, but that stretch, yeah, that's what comes from the Nasdaq basically. That very same drop that happened there, what I was mentioning, although not that significant. I mean, probably on the Qs looks far nicer. This is interesting though. Where are the news? Right? Such a bad words gang. Very good point. Normally we kind of make fun of this, that the movement often predicted in advance, and then just that there has to be no there, it's just the market opened up post that little break we have, and these bells, these alerts were set to the continuous, and so yeah, that's why I sort of went off, and by the time we hit the morning, it's all corrected, and it's just the Australians are pulling some shenanigans, right? But yeah, very good note. Where are the news? What is this chart? What does it mean? It's a continuous chart. Basically, it shows you the SPX futures, which allows us to see the trading that is happening in the background from all over the world. It is managed by by Oanda exchange, which used to function as the main exchange in the world for foreign exchange, and allow people to trade between countries, and then was the exchange in charge of overnight trading. And then once stocks became this digital traded asset, of course they took over the trading overnight, and they represent the connection between the futures, the public that is not from the US, with the US stock market, especially those who cannot be awake during stock market hours or have the eligibility to trade in the actual US stock market. Believe it or not everyone can, not at all hours. So yeah, that is that, Andrew. I hope that answered your question. It's a very important ticker and a very important chart. Yes, I highly recommend you keep it close and you follow it and you pay attention, because it allows you to see pre-market price action, understand what's happening overnight, and correlated with gaps and such other beautiful things. A very wonderful question. Those who were on the live today definitely benefited from this question. I hope you all are listening, paying attention, and writing down. That's a very useful ticker to be aware of and follow. Those who want to know more and become a lot more experts, and will actually gain more expertise, I guess, knowledge and know-how about how to properly analyze the market, I now have 3 spots in my one-on-one academy, which normally being abducted like hotcakes. I guess not everybody noticed yet, but normally everybody likes to be late to why didn't you tell me? Because I'm not going to give a personal notice to everybody, but definitely don't miss out. There are 3 spots in the one-on-one academy. Let me kind of brag and show my awesome, beautiful community. When you do join the Discord, you can just open up a support ticket via this channel and ask about the academy, or about the one-on-one academy. If you're already in, of course, you can join here. You can DM me directly. So I can talk to you, and just for you to know, it is a normal procedure. The way it works is, again, as you see, 3 open spots, right? How to sign up? You DM me, we speak, we have a Q&A, I answer all your questions. The price is here, 3,000, which is very, very cheap if you know, within the framework or in the context of how much people charge, and it is a tremendously valuable course. Definitely do ask about it, and I will tell you all about it. You can also see the reviews, the testimonials of the students who already majored from the academy. Amongst them, some of them you already heard about and you noticed, and they have a very major role in the community and all that, right? So definitely recommended to check out their reviews of the course. Maybe it'll give you a good idea whether you should or you shouldn't. That's it. Of course, don't forget we have our members meetings. On this one, I really screwed up. I didn't change the screen and I just recorded the audio, but it was a great meeting. Just recent, we already had 3 of them. Of course, we have our various, just kind of hangout channels. We have our academy area, which also have their own independent individual archive, which we're going to have another meeting tomorrow with the academy members discussing the market and what's to come, various strategies, tools, everything in between, everything that is useful. Here's our schedule. So yeah, highly recommended to join the community, and then you'll be in the know. You'll get to see members exclusive videos, join the members meeting, so a lot of stuff every single week. And it's all up to you, of course. The quicker you join, the more you'll be of an expert on understanding why the market behaves the way it does. How is it that GrabGig is consistently and continuously is able to predict the market almost on a pinpoint accuracy basis, on daily basis, sorry. And yeah, that's there are tools. There is no guessing here. There are tools that allow us to predict various movements, their dynamics, the market dynamics, the connections, the forces, the whys, all the why things are doing what they're doing, and why you're measuring things and approaching them the way you do. So that's what the Academy is all about. Highly recommended. Ask about it before all spots are locked, and then sorry, right? What did I miss? What did I miss? Am I seeing something fun there? Is there a reason why I don't want to 3 times invest and not 5 times for? Yeah, no, that's I like to keep my risk at tolerant level, at a acceptable level, if you will. It's okay. Yeah. Also, not every ETF is available everywhere. Although I'm secretly gonna tell you that the access to the various securities from where I live is pretty extensive. And since I trade with the bank, I almost have access to everything. Just saying, not a brag. Just saying. And ironically, actually, they're pretty open to ideas. But yeah, it might be in a UK exclusive as well. Alrighty, that might be one. Greg, scroll up to Nvidia news, please. Why? What did Nvidia do? What did we do? What happened with Nvidia? What am I missing? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, but still, it's within the framework of everything that I said. I mean, 100, 110, it's not that significant. I know it feels like a lot, but it's not that. What did they say, though? What was the screw up? Well, earnings are going sideways, right? We're rolling towards earnings, and earnings are going to shit. Let's see. What is the news? What is the news? Nvidia has launched the GeForce RTX 5060 series featuring the Blackwell architecture and DLSS 4. The RTX 5060 Ti release April 16, promising up to 8 times higher frame rates. Yes. More FPS. More yes, frames per second. So, what am I missing out though? So, is that a good reason to drop? Oh, scroll up in the chat. No, Nvidia expected to incur 5.5 billion in related inventory and purchase order charges in Q1 2026. Nvidia. Ooh. Okay, so basically lots of headache coming towards Nvidia. Yep. Lots of headache, but we'll see. You might be jumping to conclusions. No, Greg, no. I'm gonna bring Gene into the live, so he's gonna be yelling at me. Can Nvidia dip to 90? Easy. Nvidia can go to 30. What are you talking about? That's the old prediction. Keep scrolling. No, keep scrolling up even higher. Oh my God, there are worse news. What am I missing? Well, it's higher. Okay. There's not much any higher than that, Gene. That's expecting the Gene very Leo Gene. People over the same time, super relaxed and laid back. A true legend. Who is that, Leo? Yeah, I know he is. That's so amazing. I love you, Gene. Above that one. Okay. Nvidia has a huge chargeback. I noticed. Okay, I saw. Guys, don't jump to any conclusions. It's rumors still, it's noise. Chill the fuck down. With that, they had far more problems, like saying, for example, they're about to build a foundry, which they never built, or actually having all their orders being re-examined and finding out that they actually have not done that also well on the crypto front as they were claiming, and actually their revenue stream is about 50% dependent on the individual GPUs buying. So there's a lot of bullshit going on with Nvidia. So again, this is just noise. I hate to say it, it didn't move the. I mean, maybe tomorrow, but this guy can predict the future in the markets, but he can't fully scroll up. It's not rumors. Okay, okay, chill the fuck down. I mean, calm down, Gene. We're gonna talk about it in a second. Give me a second. Bro, you're gonna have an opportunity to yell at me at how serious this is. Which, by the way, I was saying that there's a lot of bullshit with Nvidia all along. So to me, this is not surprising. It's just another, you know, AMD also slammed. Yeah, in solidarity. The I want to go live with you. That's gonna be messy. You're gonna be yelling at me. I don't want to. It's too late right now. It's like 1 o'clock. It's 1 a.m., bro. Come on, yell at me in private. um, if anyone wants to on the Discord, we're probably gonna jump in onto the open forum for a couple of minutes for Gene to yell at me and stuff. So, right here, Gene here, join in. You wanna yell at me? Join in. Join in, you lovely YouTube mother lover. Leo. Hello, Leo.
Hello.
Where's my Gene? Where's my Gene? Come on, Gene,
Greg.
yell at me.
I'm here.
All right, yell at me.
What do you mean? I'm here, dude. I guess I can't hear him.
You can hear me. What do you mean? You can hear me. Technical issues.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I
So,
can't. Yeah, what's up?
so above where you read about the chargeback,
Right.
literally says,
Just above
literally
that.
says, yeah, literally says the U.S. government just announced. NVIDIA announces that the U.S. government has done this. It's not like a rumor.
Right, I see. No, again, first of all, I don't like to jump to conclusions while I'm live, as you can imagine. But still, yeah, I'll look into this. But yeah, we said Nvidia has so many issues, underlying bullshit that was accumulating over time, and
Yeah.
and the price that was over bloated for so long that, in fact, it's so surprising it took so long. Eventually, it's sort of finally the bullshit is finally catching up with them. You know, if anything. So yeah,
Like you
that was
said
interesting.
a million times to me, it's not about tariffs or the latest headline. It's all been boiling for mad long.
For
You know,
exactly, and this
a
is
lot of
and this is just a
issues.
part of it. In fact, arguably, let's agree that this took far longer than expected. Because if you look back, I was saying, "Yo, it's gonna happen earlier," and they were dragging it out, dragging it out, dragging it out. New excuse, new bullshit to keep busy with. So it looks like we have a new format here. Now the members get to join the live. Now, that's cool. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to jump off for a second, finish the live, and we're going to hang out for a second afterwards. Whoever wants to join
I like
us.
that. Let's
You
do
like
it.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if we make that a constant. We'll see. We'll consider this. Anyway, that is our awesome community. Everybody's more than welcome to join. As you can see, sometimes we get live updates on the live. But yeah, that is it for tonight. I don't think there's anything too substantial nor new to say. The market was rather tame and boring, and we were preparing for a sort of a transition back into that bearish momentum, as we said multiple times. And I warned that in my mind, the way I perceive the structure right now, probably towards the end of the month, we will be by then revisiting 5,000 or 4,800, maybe 5,100, kind of within that vicinity. Of course, could be 4,900. It's quite a wide range, and with the volatility as it is, as we understand, it can be pretty much within the vicinity of this entire wedge. So to kind of keep it clean, so everybody, what the hell did I just do? So kind of to keep it clean and keep it understood, so we can retrace easily back into that range, retest it, these very same levels, and get stuck within that wedge before we continue downwards. That kind of was the drawing that we had, moving downwards to 39.30, as we said, mentioned before, or prior to actually, because we have another major support resistance level. We have, of course, 4,500. There are multiple layers here in between, but it seems that the lower end is where we're headed. That is it. Boys and girls, we're done for today. Love you all. That was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed. We might do this more often with the members and all that. Don't forget to smash the like and all the beautiful stuff. Ring the bell, subscribe, all the important stuff. Change the notifications to everything. Otherwise, you'll not be informed. Join the community and inquire about the One-on-One Academy before it's locked, right? And that way you can be independent, not rely on any talking heads or even Greg himself, because Greg also can be wrong. Believe it or not, Greg is human, just a dude on the internet. Although have worked in the industry for basically most of my career and almost life at this stage, still though I'll say that I can get things wrong as well. Even my members know I'm still human, and that's the best way, not to be dependent on anyone. See you on the next one. See you in the community. See you in the lives. Bye bye.